Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Hey creatives, this is Roland and welcome to the Writer's Creative Space, a space where you as an author or aspiring author can get inspiration, advice, tips and encouragement on your self-publishing journey. This is episode 16 and today I will be talking about staying in your lane. It's so important as authors that we learn to not compare our journey to the next person. But more on that later in the show, because right now I am getting into some personal writing news. And on personal writing news, I am in a very interesting place at the moment. I am nearly done editing my book. Well, I thought so. And my book being delayed, my book called Delayed But Not Forgotten. So I thought I was done, or I was nearly done with editing, but I have to go back to some earlier chapters to make a few changes, which means that the time that I thought I would be done has been pushed back even further. So I targeted my book to be done late July, getting into August, but now that is looking like I might be done in August, like properly in August and not July. And yeah, so it's crazy because here we go. I set a goal and now I have to change. But this is the thing about the book is that this is out of my control as now my editor went through the book and I hadn't looked at my book for a few weeks and they hadn't looked at the book for about a week, I think, or whatever, a few days, and saw a few things that they needed to change and realized that they need to go back again and start from chapter 1, from the intro to chapter 1 and so on to go through and make sure that everything is edited correctly. And so I'm going and then they also advised me to add some things. So which means I now have to go back to the introduction, starting at chapter, and then go to chapter 1 and 2 and make those changes. But this is the thing I've been realizing, that this is all part of the editing process, and this is all part of what it means to be an author. Because again, I feel that as an author, you have control, but you don't have control, right? There's a lot of things that happen as an author that you need to be ready for. And like I said on one of my earlier episodes, that as an author, you need to be flexible. Because if you're not flexible, then you're not going to be able to adapt and change and be successful. Because as an author, things are always happening. Things are always changing. Things that can happen that are beyond your control. And the key is to be flexible. So this is one thing that I am learning. And a few days I was actually listening to a podcast on editing and how important that is. And the speakers were then speaking about the different types of edits, line edit and copy editing and all that. But they also spoke about how important editing is and how it's an investment in your book. It's all about getting out the best product that you can get out, right? And I want to have a polished, finished product. And if it means taking a bit more time to get that result and sacrificing a timeline, which I thought, because right now I just want to get the book out. So, but then if it means sacrificing that desire to get a better product out, then I'll do that. And anyway, so there's that. That was the one thing. And then there is life, right? It doesn't stop just because I am writing a book. I haven't been consistent at writing every day because I've been extremely busy with my other business. So it's been hard trying to find a balance. I must admit, I've been getting frustrated at times because it seems like I am moving at tortoise speed. I just want the book to be done. But the reality is that is not how it works. I need to be patient. And like I spoke about in one of my earlier episodes, it's important. It's important to be patient as an author. That's one attribute or character that you need to have. And I've been learning another thing, that when life gets louder than what I am doing in my writing, it's okay to stop and attend to that thing. So that applies to you as well. When life gets louder than what you are doing in your writing, and you've got your goals with your writing and things that you need to hit, when life happens, it's okay to stop and attend to that thing, and don't get frustrated and don't beat yourself up, because again, like I said, that's what I was doing a bit. I was getting frustrated and beating myself up and saying, I haven't hit a goal. So when I get delayed with my writing and progress comes to a halt, then I've been learning just to take a deep breath and roll with the punches. But like I said, it's an interesting place that I'm in, and it's easier said than done. Of course, it's something that I'm learning. But like I said, I'm all about the learning. And yes, at the time it's difficult, and yes, at the time it's hard to understand. But this is what it's all about. It's all about becoming mature in your skill, right, and what you're doing. So this is, as I see, this is what it means to become a successful author. This is what it means to become learned in the area that you're in, especially in our writing sphere. So anyway, let me ask you a few questions. So how are you at balancing priorities in your life, right? And how do you deal with setbacks? And I'd really love to know, because it would help me and help other people that are listening. So anyway, that is all I have to share on my personal news. So let's get back into the main topic. And like I was saying earlier, it's so important to not compare your journey with the next person. One of my mentors said it best, and I love this quote. He says, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. And I love that. That resonated deeply with me, because I have done that so many times in my writing. I have looked at the progress other authors were making or are making, and I've looked at the success they were having, and I thought to myself, what am I doing wrong, right? I would try to compare myself with them, and I began to question myself. And as I did that, I felt overwhelmed and discouraged. It actually, in the end, the job felt impossible, and that's the danger of comparing yourself to others. That's the danger of comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, because it's taken them a long time. It's taken them hard work. It's taken them sacrifice. You don't even know what they've gone through to get to their chapter 20. And here you are on your chapter 1, and you're trying to compare yourself to them. And that's a crazy thing to do. Well, not a crazy thing to do, but that is something not to do, because like I said, I did that, and I'm learning not to do that, because right now, there will always be that once I do that, then my task becomes more impossible, because they know how to edit, they know how to format, they are selling 1,000 books or 2,000 books or 3,000 books, and here I am selling 10 books, 20 books, and I'm thinking, what's going on? And the discouragement comes in, and the hopelessness comes in, like all these other things, and you feel inadequate, and fear comes in, and the door opens to so many things. So remember, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20, because remember, we are all on different levels. Even if you are writing in the same genre as the next person, your experiences and expertise are different to the next person. Always remember that. The way you see things is not the way they see things, and all that is okay. Your differences are okay. What works for you may not necessarily work for the other person, and the goal is not to be them. The goal is to be you. Your goal as an author is to be yourself, to tell your story, to share your knowledge, to share your experiences. But that don't happen when you're trying to be someone else, or trying to compare yourself to what someone else is doing, or trying to match what someone else is doing. So that's some food for thought. And as I come to the end of the episode, remember to stay in your lane. Is this something that you struggle with? I would love to hear your thoughts on that, and the rest of the other things that I spoke about earlier, about being flexible, about being patient. What is your pattern? What is your strategy? What is your routine? But again, like I said, on this topic, what are your thoughts on comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20? What pitfalls have you struggled with as you've done that, right? Make sure to comment below or on my Facebook page. And if you enjoyed the episode, as always, make sure to give this episode a rating, a 5-star rating, and please share it with people that you know. And I will see you in the next episode. And remember, you have something worth sharing.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.